Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet developed by Microsoft for Microsoft Windows, Mac OS X, and iOS. It features calculation, graphing tools, pivot tables, and a macro programming language called Visual Basic for applications. It has been a very widely applied spreadsheet for these platforms, especially since version 5 in 1993, and it has replaced Lotus 1, 2, 3 as the industry standard for spreadsheets. Excel forms part of Microsoft Office. Features. Basic operation. Microsoft Excel has the basic features of all spreadsheets, using a grid of cells arranged in numbered rows and letter-named columns to organize data manipulations like arithmetic operations. It has a battery of supplied functions to answer statistical, engineering and financial needs. In addition, it can display data as line graphs, histograms and charts, and with a very limited three-dimensional graphical display, it allows sectioning of data to view its dependencies on various factors for different perspectives. It has a programming aspect, Visual Basic for applications, allowing the user to employ a wide variety of numerical methods, for example, for solving differential equations of mathematical physics, and then reporting the results back to the spreadsheet. It also has a variety of interactive features allowing user interfaces that can completely hide the spreadsheet from the user. So the spreadsheet presents itself as a so-called application, or decision support system, via a custom-designed user interface, for example, a stock analyzer, or in general, as a design tool that asks the user questions and provides answers and reports. In a more elaborate realization, an Excel application can automatically poll external databases and measuring instruments using and update schedule, analyze the results, make a Word report or PowerPoint slideshow, and email these presentations on a regular basis to a list of participants. Microsoft allows for a number of optional command line switches to control the manner in which Excel starts. Macro programming. VBA programming. The Windows version of Excel supports programming through Microsoft's Visual Basic for applications, which is a dialect of Visual Basic. Programming with VBA allows spreadsheet manipulation that is awkward or impossible with standard spreadsheet techniques. Programmers may write code directly using the Visual Basic editor, which includes a window for writing code, debugging code, and code module organization environment. The user can implement numerical methods as well as automating tasks such as formatting or data organization in VBA and guide the calculation using any desired intermediate results reported back to the spreadsheet. VBA was restored in the next version, Mac Excel 2011, although the build lacks support for ActiveX objects, impacting some high-level developer tools. A common and easy way to generate VBA code is by using the macro recorder. The macro recorder records actions of the user and generates VBA code in the form of a macro. These actions can then be repeated automatically by running the macro. The macros can also be linked to different trigger types like keyboard shortcuts, a command button or a graphic. The actions in the macro can be executed from these trigger types or from the generic toolbar options. The VBA code of the macro can also be edited in the VBE. Certain features such as loop functions and screen prompts by their own properties, and some graphical display items, cannot be recorded, but must be entered into the VBA module directly by the programmer. Advanced users can employ user prompts to create an interactive program, or react to events such as sheets being loaded or changed. Macro-recorded code may not be compatible between Excel versions. Some code that is used in Excel 2010 cannot be used in Excel 2003. Making a macro that changes the cell colors and making changes to other aspects of cells may not be backward compatible. VBA code interacts with the spreadsheet through the Excel object model, a vocabulary identifying spreadsheet objects, and a set of supplied functions or methods that enable reading and writing to the spreadsheet and interaction with its users. User-created VBA subroutines execute these actions and operate like macros generated using the macro recorder, but are more flexible and efficient. History. From its first version, Excel supported end-user programming of macros and user-defined functions. In early versions of Excel, these programs were written in a macro language whose statements had formula syntax and resided in the cells of special-purpose macro sheets. XLM was the default macro language for Excel through Excel 4.0. Beginning with version 5.0, Excel recorded macros in VBA by default, but with version 5.0, XLM recording was still allowed as an option. After version 5.0, that option was discontinued. All versions of Excel, including Excel 2010, are capable of running an XLM macro, though Microsoft discourages their use. Charts. Excel supports charts, graphs, or histograms generated from specified groups of cells. The generated graphic component can either be embedded within the current sheet, or added as a separate object. These displays are dynamically updated if the content of cells change. For example, suppose that the important design requirements are displayed visually, then, in response to a user's change in trial values for parameters, the curves describing the design change shape, and the points of intersection shift, assisting the selection of the best design. Data storage and communication. Number of rows and columns. Versions of Excel up to 7.0 had a limitation in the size of their datasets of 16K rows. Versions 8.0 through 11.0 could handle 64K rows and 256 columns. Version 12.0 can handle IM rows and 16,384 columns. File formats. Microsoft Excel up until 2007 version used a proprietary binary file format called Excel Binary File Format as its primary format. Excel 2007 uses Office Open XML as its primary file format, an XML-based format that followed after a previous XML-based format called Xml Spreadsheet, first introduced in Excel 2002. Although supporting and encouraging the use of new XML-based formats as replacements, Excel 2007 remained backwards compatible with the traditional binary formats. In addition, most versions of Microsoft Excel can read CSV, DBF, SYLK, DIF, and other legacy formats. Support for some older file formats was removed in Excel 2007. The file formats were mainly from DOS-based programs. Binary. OpenOffice.org has created documentation of the Excel format. Since then, Microsoft made the Excel binary format specification available to freely download. XML Spreadsheet. The XML Spreadsheet format introduced in Excel 2002 is a simple XML-based format missing some more advanced features like storage of VBA macros. Though the intended file extension for this format is .xml, the program also correctly handles XML files with .xls extension. This feature is widely used by third-party applications to offer export to Excel capabilities without implementing binary file format. The following example will be correctly opened by Excel if saved either as book1.xml or book1.xls. Less than, XML version equals 1.0, greater than less than workbook XMLNS equals, scheme is Microsoft's COM, Office, Spreadsheet, XMLNS, O equals, scheme is Microsoft's COM, Office, XMLNS, X equals, scheme is Microsoft's COM, Office, Excel, XMLNS, SS equals, scheme is Microsoft's COM, Office, Spreadsheet, XMLNS, HTML equals, http://www.w3.org/tr/rec-html40, greater than less than worksheet SS, name equals G1, greater than less than table SS. x, expanded column count equals 2, ss, expanded row count equals 2, x, full columns equals 1, x, full rows equals 1, greater than less than row greater than less than cell greater than less than data ss, type equals string, greater than name less than, data greater than less than, cell greater than less than cell greater than less than data ss, type equals string, greater than example less than, data greater than less than, cell greater than less than, row greater than, less than row greater than less than cell greater than less than data ss, type equals string, greater than value less than, data greater than less than, cell greater than less than cell greater than less than data ss, type equals number, greater than 123 less than, data greater than less than, cell greater than less than, row greater than less than, table greater than less than, worksheet greater than less than, workbook greater than. Current file extensions Microsoft Excel 2007, along with the other products in the Microsoft Office 2007 suite, introduce new file formats. The first of these is defined in the Office Open XML specification. Old file extensions using other Windows applications such as Microsoft Access and Microsoft Word, as well as Excel can communicate with each other and use each other's capabilities. The most common are dynamic data exchange. Although strongly deprecated by Microsoft, this is a common method to send data between applications running on Windows, with official MS publications referring to it as the protocol from hell. As the name suggests, it allows applications to supply data to others for calculation and display. It is very common in financial markets, being used to connect to important financial data services such as Bloomberg and Reuters. OLE object linking and embedding allows a Windows application to control another to enable it to format or calculate data. This may take on the form of embedding, where an application uses another to handle a task that it is more suited to. For example, a PowerPoint presentation may be embedded in an Excel spreadsheet or vice versa. Using external data, Excel users can access external data sources via Microsoft Office features such as dot connections built with the Office data connection file format. Excel files themselves may be updated using a Microsoft-supplied ODBC driver. Excel can accept data in real time through several programming interfaces, which allow it to communicate with many data sources such as Bloomberg and Reuters. DDE. Dynamic data exchange uses the message passing mechanism in Windows to allow data to flow between Excel and other applications. Although it is easy for users to create such links, programming such links reliably is so difficult that Microsoft, the creators of the system, officially refer to it as the protocol from hell. In spite of its many issues, DDE remains the most common way for data to reach traders in financial markets. Network DDE extended the protocol to allow spreadsheets on different computers to exchange data. Starting with Windows Vista, Microsoft no longer supports the facility. Real-time data, RTD, although in many ways technically superior to DDE, has been slow to gain acceptance, since it requires non-trivial programming skills, and when first released was neither adequately documented nor supported by the major data vendors. Alternatively, Microsoft Query provides ODBC-based browsing within Microsoft Excel. Export and migration of spreadsheets. Programmers have produced APIs to open Excel spreadsheets in a variety of applications and environments other than Microsoft Excel. These include opening Excel documents on the web using either ActiveX controls, or plugins like the Adobe Flash Player. The Apache POI open source project provides Java libraries for reading and writing Excel spreadsheet files. Excel Package is another open source project that provides server-side generation of Microsoft Excel 2007 spreadsheets. PHP-XL is a PHP library that converts XL5, XL 2003, and XL 2007 formats into objects for reading and writing within a web application. XL Services is a current .NET developer tool that can enhance Excel's capabilities. Xml Spreadsheets can be accessed from Python with XLRD and OpenPixel. JSXLSX and JSXLS can open Xml Spreadsheets from JS. Password protection. Microsoft Excel Protection offers several types of passwords. Password to open a document. Password to modify a document. Password to unprotect worksheet. Password to protect workbook. Password to protect the sharing workbook. All passwords except password to open a document can be removed instantly regardless of Microsoft Excel version used to create the document. These types of passwords are used primarily for shared work on a document. Such password-protected documents are not encrypted, and a data sources from a set password is saved in a document's header. Password to protect workbook is an exception. When it is set, a document is encrypted with the standard password, Velvet, Sweatshop. But since it is known to public, it actually does not add any extra protection to the document. The only type of password that can prevent a trespasser from gaining access to a document is password to open a document. The cryptographic strength of this kind of protection depends strongly on the Microsoft Excel version that was used to create the document. In Microsoft Excel 95 and earlier versions, password to open is converted to a 16-bit key that can be instantly cracked. In Excel 97 2000, the password is converted to a 40-bit key, which can also be cracked very quickly using modern equipment. As regards services which use rainbow tables, it takes up to several seconds to remove protection. In addition, password cracking programs can brute force attack passwords at a rate of hundreds of thousands of passwords a second, which not only lets them decrypt a document, but also find the original password. In Excel 2003 XP, the encryption is slightly better. A user can choose any encryption algorithm that is available in the system. Due to the CSP, an Excel file can't be decrypted, and thus the password to open can't be removed, though the brute force attack speed remains quite high. Nevertheless, the older Excel 97 2000 algorithm is set by the default. Therefore, users who did not change the default settings lack reliable protection of their documents. The situation changed fundamentally in Excel 2007, where the modern AES algorithm with a key of 128 bits started being used for decryption, and a 50,000-fold use of the hash function SHA-1 reduced the speed of brute force attacks down to hundreds of passwords per second. In Excel 2010, the strength of the protection by the default was increased 2 times due to the use of a 100,000-fold SHA-1 to convert a password to a key. Microsoft Excel Viewer. Microsoft Excel Viewer is a freeware program for viewing and printing spreadsheet documents created by Excel. Excel Viewer is similar to Microsoft Word Viewer in functionality. Excel Viewer is available for Microsoft Windows and Windows CE handheld PCs, such as the NEC Mobile Pro. It is also possible to open Excel files using certain online tools and services. Online Excel viewers do not require users to have Microsoft Excel installed. Quirks. Other errors specific to Excel include misleading statistics functions, mod function errors, date limitations, and the Excel 2007 error. Statistical functions. The accuracy and convenience of statistical tools in Excel has been criticized, as mishandling missing data, as returning incorrect values due to inept handling of round-off and large numbers, as only selectively updating calculations on a spreadsheet when some cell values are changed, and as having a limited set of statistical tools. Microsoft has announced some of these issues are addressed in Excel 2010. Excel mod function error. Excel has issues with modulo operations. In the case of excessively large results, Excel will return the error warning #num instead of an answer. Date problems. Excel includes January 0, 1900 and February 29, 1900, incorrectly treating 1900 as a leap year. The bug originated from Lotus 1, 2, 3, and was purposely implemented in Excel for the purpose of bug compatibility. This legacy has later been carried over into Office Open XML file format. Excel also does not support dates before 1900. File names. Microsoft Excel will not open two documents with the same name and instead will display the following error. A document with the name %s is already open. You cannot open two documents with the same name, even if the documents are in different folders. To open a second document, either close the document that is currently open, or rename one of the documents. The reason is for calculation ambiguity with linked cells. If there is a cell equals Book 1, XLSX, Sheet 1, $33, and there are two books named Book 1, open, there is no way to tell which one the user means. Numeric precision. Despite the use of 15-figure precision, Excel can display many more figures upon user request, but the displayed figures are not those actually used in its computations, and so, for example, the difference of two numbers may differ from the difference of their displayed values. Although such departures are usually beyond the 15th decimal, exceptions do occur, especially for very large or very small numbers. Serious errors can occur if decisions are made based upon automated comparisons of numbers, as a quality of two numbers can be unpredictable. In the figure, the fraction 1/9000th is displayed in Excel. Although this number has a decimal representation that is an infinite string of ones, Excel displays only the leading 15 figures. In the second line, the number 1 is added to the fraction, and again Excel displays only 15 figures. In the third line, 1 is subtracted from the sum using Excel. Because the sum in the second line has only 11 1s after the decimal, the difference when 1 is subtracted from this displayed value is 3 0s followed by a string of 11 1s. However, the difference reported by Excel in the third line is 3 0s followed by a string of 13 1s and two extra erroneous digits. This is because Excel calculates with about half a digit more than it displays. Excel works with a modified 1985 version of the IEEE 754 specification. Excel's implementation involves conversions between binary and decimal representations, leading to accuracy that is on average better than one would expect from simple 15-digit precision, but that can be worse. See the main article for details. Besides accuracy in user computations, the question of accuracy in Excel-provided functions may be raised. Particularly in the arena of statistical functions, Excel has been criticized for sacrificing accuracy for speed of calculation. As many calculations in Excel are executed using VBA, an additional issue is the accuracy of VBA, which varies with variable type and user-requested precision.